When you're ready to play with twin needles, you can do things like decorative stitches, you can do things like pin tucks, and you can simulate that hem that you see on ready to make. You can simulate the hem on ready to wear fabrics. You can simulate the hem on ready-to-wear garments that are usually made out of stretchy fabrics. Now, these are part of our Pfaff Stitching Cosmos online course, where we take twin needles to a whole new level. But I want to show you how you do it on the Pfaff Creative icon, how to tell the machine that you're going to do this, and even a little workaround for doing it with side-to-side motion stitches. So this has got two colors in it for each of these stitches, and it's kind of fun. Now on this machine you can use up to an 8.0 twin needle. Now those are ginormous. Today I'm going to use a 2.0mm twin needle, and that measures how far apart the needles are. Traditionally 3, 4, and 6 width needle. Traditionally, 3, 4, or 6mm twin needles are used, and you can have a lot of fun with them, whether it's just adding a little extra line of stitching or actually doing decorative work. So the first thing you're going to do is touch the settings menu and go into where it says twin. And go into where it says stitch limiting option. So twin needle, and let's just say we're going to do a 2.0 twin needle. Check the box that indicates the size of needle you're using, and you're going to notice that you'll see all your stitches now as it's going to stitch. Now this is kind of fun because it's like virtual sewing. You get to see what it's going to look like. Now that did not look, let's go ahead and I'm going to just minimize this little box, move it down just a little bit. So as we pick a stitch, you can see what it looks like from the beginning to what it's going to look like as a twin needle. Here's a hint. If you want the most bang for your buck when it comes to decorative options, use a narrower twin needle size. So if you're using a size 4.0, so let's just change it. Keep your eye on that screen there. Let's change it to 4.0. You'll notice that the stitch is not as dramatic as what it was when the needles are closer together. So those will be things that we're going to play with. But next I need to show you the special way you need to follow for putting 2 spools of thread through this machine. So I have my 2 spools of thread on the machine, and I'm going to just take the thread together through the first guide and around the back. But this is where I need to stop. You notice in this first guide, there's this little fin, and people always ask me, well, what am I supposed to do with that? Am I supposed to thread the machine on the right side of it or the left side? Well, it doesn't matter when you're just using one thread. There's actually two sets of tension discs. So no matter which side you're in, it works. But when you're using two threads, separate them and then put one on the right and one on the left. Now, remember, as we come back up and we talk about flossing the threads kind of back and forth here, that helps make sure that both threads sit all the way down into those tension discs. And then you can continue to thread the machine with both the threads in your same hand. Of course, when you get down to putting the needle in, you're going to realize that your needle threader is not an option when it comes to threading a twin needle. So you're just going to go ahead and take your threads, doesn't matter which one goes in which of the needles. So just pick one. One will go in the right and one will go in the left. Now, if you do have trouble threading your needles by hand because you're so dependent on your needle threader, there are handheld needle threaders that come with the Pfaff sergers, or you can purchase them separately at your Pfaff retailer. So usually what I like to do is go ahead and just do some straight stitching and make sure that everything is threaded correctly. So we're going to just do, I'm on a straight stitch, but because we've told the machine that we have the twin needle in, you can pick any stitch in this machine and jump around from stitch to stitch. So you'd be surprised what the stitches look like. I do need to go back and reset it to the 2.0 so I can have that do the fun interlocking stitches that I want to show you. And then we can have some fun with any of the stitches throughout this entire machine. But do keep in mind that actually the utility stitches just on the first menu are actually quite exotic when you start to put decorative threads and a narrow twin needle in. And we can use the scissor button that does work on this machine. Now, we talked about pin tucks too. So if you're looking to create pin tucks, you can just do lines of stitching, and a pin tuck foot will help you stay nice and parallel together. So as you can see, we just had some straight stitch, a gathering stitch, and a overlock stitch that turned into creative decorative stitches on our fabric. At this point, at this point, you're really not limited to anything that you want to pick and try out. Now, if you're wondering what this was that I showed you earlier, it's a tissue holder that is made into looking like a Hawaiian shirt. So we decorated the front part of it. This entire project only takes 3 seams, and we will put links below this YouTube video to the pattern, and it is kind of a fun little giveaway item if you are looking for something for stocking stuffers or something for a unique gift for friends.